The environment has been
What we're saying is have a heart.
We've got to be able to regenerate our
There'll be people who are kind, people who are cruel, but that's life. You can be bigoted about videos. I'm fine with that.
I don't want to move into the area of testing because for some time, long ago at least, testing was difficult. It was not readily available. What is the situation today?
The Department of STI control is a sexually transmitted infection. So basically, they do more for public health for STI screening. Basically, patients who are referred from hospitals or who walk in and who make appointments to DSC to do their STI screening and HIV screening. So the 10 GPs are actually under this DSC programs. They're actually trained to, trained for the anonymous testing. So once they
anonymous, how anonymous? Do they need to get any particulars?
That one I'm not too sure how they go about, because each GP have their own way of actually administering the testing at their own GP. So they might need to have their own system in terms of.
And are these clinics identified as offering testing for HIV?
They are actually being identified on the MOH website.
No, I mean in the shop front or the clinic front.
Some advertise, some don't.
Some do.
Okay,
yeah.
so the public may not be aware.
Right.
But if they want to actually check out, they can actually go to the MOH website.
So the MOH website will give a list of the HIV testing centers.
Correct.
In general, anonymous testing at any of the clinic, including one AFA, would just mean that you don't need to submit any names, no particular, no NRIC, no passport number. None of these are also captured. At least at the AFA clinic, none of these are captured, even if it's a positive result.
If it's a positive result, you mean you're not required by law to report the case?
It's an anonymous clinic, so there's no particulars
You're a
captured
number,
anywhere.
not a name.
Yeah.
So it's an honest system.
It's reported in terms only of statistics.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the number of positive people would be reported, but none of the names would be reported.
The tracking becomes very difficult if you want to control the spread of the disease.
Well, the whole idea is to get people to come in without being afraid of being identified.
So what's interesting is when I first worked for AFA, and I worked at the anonymous test site, I think if we had 8 people in an evening, it was a big deal. And today we have sometimes 65, 70 people on any given evening, and we've got 2 hours to counsel and test them. So it can be extremely busy, and you have to go through with each person what the window period is, what the issues are, and of course you don't always get the correct information because it's voluntary and they're just a number.
Do they come back?
Well, we recommend they can return if they're in the window period. I recommend that they will, go to STI clinic if they need to, in terms of their symptoms, or to go to a hospital if they need to. So, you recommend whatever you think is necessary at the clinic.
Okay, so this is Action for AIDS, and these are the clinics that we are talking about, the available 10 clinics. But you also have other programs. Can you tell us some of the programs?
Okay, the programs we actually volunteered was the MSM program.
MSM meaning?
Yeah, men who have sex with men. So basically, in Singapore, there are actually saunas, okay, which allows these activities to be going on. So men who actually goes there to have sex, basically in the saunas. So these are people who, they might be some of them who identify themselves as homosexual, or maybe bisexual, or maybe some they are actually married men. So this MSM term actually comes from from India. So this terminology actually is, we are using it for our programs. So this MSM, we have been running this testing program for 6 years. 6 years run.
So what do? You go to the saunas?
Basically, we go to the saunas and we conduct testing. It's
for free?
For free, and also it's anonymous. So basically, we give them the results on the spots. The last one we conducted, we actually give them quite a few alternatives in terms of giving them results together with the password. So it actually helps to protect their so-called identity. So we give them a number similarly to what the anonymous test site is. So it's a more of going into the community.
What sort of reception do you get? Do they view you with suspicion, or do they believe that you are anonymous?
I think initially when we launched the program, it was a little bit difficult because we have to have a lot of support from the sauna's owners. Basically, they came in with agreeing to allow us to come in to do the testing, and also after that we have to canvas to get the clients to allow us to do the testing for them. So we actually did the testing and tell them how to go about the testing.
So what does the test involve?
The test is actually an oral quick test. It doesn't require any fluid. I mean, it doesn't require blood. It just does an oral quick swab. So basically, it's just a
Oral quick means you take a swab of the inner lining of the mouth.
Correct. So basically, you just go around the mouth 3 rounds to 4 rounds. Then after that, you put into the solution. So less than half an hour, you can get the results. Yeah. So we did that for the past 6 years, and
so how many do you get? About 60 to 65, you said, per night?
Yes.
And how many do you get from yours?
Depends on the venue. Each venue, I think we can get up to almost like
Sometimes 10, the club
10.
get
So over a month cumulatively in Singapore?
The whole project lasts for about 3 months,
months,
usually, and our sample size is usually about 1,002 to 1,004
Over the 3 months?
Yes.
And you do it how many times a year?
once
once a year.
enough.
Who funds this?
Who funds this?
We have a sort of funding. We do like most of our preventive program are funded. So donation money will go to helping on patient with their medical bills and everything. Program wise are all quite funded with tote boards and a lot of agency like the lady sitting beside us. We do road to them and beg them for money, and they're very supportive. And we need a lot of funding to run our program.
Are your accounts public knowledge?
Of course.
Yes.
How much do you need?
We are
How much do
NGO.
you need a year?
1.2 to 1.5 million.
And you manage to get this money from donations?
Yes, especially I just want to mention this because we have a mobile testing van, which costs like 80 to 100K just to launch it, and it's fully sponsored by MAC. So there's something.
It's fun.
Yeah, MAC it's fun. So
What fund?
Mac is one.
What is that?
MAC
Oh, Mac Cosmetics.
So
Okay.
they sponsored. They more or less like sponsored the whole van. So the van been operating like for 3 years. Any work with HIV is always very difficult in the beginning. You are just not welcome in any places, in any venue, in any compound. You're not welcome. We go down to pubs and clubs and even public places.
Okay, you talk about saunas, but now you also go to pubs and clubs.
Yes.
Yes.
For testing?
In Getai as well. Yeah.
For the MS
How does this work?
program, we also goes into the clubs.
The same van or what? How do you
we work
go
both
for
ways. We have van and we have volunteers going into the pubs to do testing. So they set up a booth there in the pub itself to do testing. And then the van is separate. The van will if there are some venues that have special events, awareness event campaign, the van do parks there, and then people do come.
This is not within the 3-month period that you're talking about.
No, this is an ongoing.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
ongoing.
For the mobile
Ongoing.
testing is ongoing.
Yeah.
For
So this
ours
is mobile
actually-
testing. How many people do you get under the mobile testing program?
Okay, we started in the beginning 3 years. Hardly nobody do bookings.
I think it's less than 100.
Yeah,
There's
nobody do
no-
bookings and nobody queue up in front of the van.
Yeah.
A lot of hard work. 3 years down the road, we are fully booked.
We're
In fact,
usually
the
about-
van are fully booked for almost every day. They cannot cope.
So in 1 year, how many people do
I
you
think in
test?
2012, I think it's reaching 1,000.
I think total 3,000 tested till now for 3
A year?
years. No,
For 3 years.
3 years. 3 years. Total about 3,000 that's tested, especially these few years, the last year and last year alone. Yeah. So it's increasing.
It's the same with the venue-based testing. When we first started, people were very wary about us. They're scared that we are from the government and we're there to capture people. So they will tell things like, I don't believe that it's anonymous, your serial number, I'm quite sure there's some way you can trace
the camera elsewhere, being captured, right? And
so there's a lot
have
of conspiracy theories around it.
Especially Getai with those audience who are low education.
In Getai, you're not going for the Getai singers, you're going for the people attending the Getai concerts.
Correct.
So these are the HDB heartlanders.
Yeah, heartlanders and
mostly men or men
why
and women?
Getai? Yeah, exactly. The good question. Why Getai? 90% are men.
How
90%
old?
are men. This is our target group.
How old are the men?
30 to 60. These are the group that we want to reach out to, and these are the group that are very hard to reach out, especially Getai. Social media, you can't reach out to them.
Okay.
Campaign, you can't reach out to them.
Okay.
You have to really go down there and to speak to them, and they still think that kissing you'll get HIV, by shaking hands you still get it, or mosquito.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mosquito.
Yeah, mosquito bite, you get HIV, and they still believe that if you go for a test, you'll be locked up. All those uncles will tell me, no, I won't go.
There's
I
an
say,
AIDS
why?
camp.
There's an AIDS camp. They'll lock me up. So I will never go for tests. You guys are government, you'll lock me up. Once I go for tests, you'll lock me up, and medication will cost, they still say medication will cost like 3,000, 5,000 a month. Like, okay, wait. So there's so many reasons, or maybe excuses. Or
This is the early prejudice that you faced.
yes,
You faced it
still
today?
ongoing.
Still
Still ongoing. That's why
To the same degree?
After 30 years.
improving. The more we do, the better it gets. So improving.
But
Now we have long queues
conservative.
in front of a mobile van doing testing. Just last week we have 69 people queuing up, and these are exactly the target group that they will not go for any of the clinic. They don't
even know
that there are 10 clinics that's anonymous, and all these services are not available to them.
Are you the only group reaching out to these people, or are there other volunteer groups like yours doing this?
Different area. We have different NGO doing targeting at just street sex worker. There are groups targeting at foreign worker.
So not only Action for AIDS, but other organizations as
Action
well?
for AIDS, we are very venue based, so we target very high risk group. So we go down to all the Geylang clubs and pubs, and once you are into the clubs, you have like 50, 60 girls. You have over 100 men, and these are our target audience. These are the high risk group.
When you see such a huge number, do you get excited?
Beginning of the program is you can't get excited. You get frightened. You're
They
being
treat you
chased.
badly.
Yeah, you're being chased away because they are doing this. The business.
So why
they are
do you
running.
do it? If they're so unfriendly, is it dangerous? Why do you do it? Why do the volunteers? We have 3 volunteers from Action for AIDS. What makes you want to do it, all this?
The mission.
Yeah, why? What motivates you?
The mission. The mission of bringing down HIV infected rate and helping someone, giving knowledge to somebody. It really helps. Give them the knowledge.
That's your motivation.
Yeah. Spread the knowledge.
I think basically also helping our own community and also educating the people around us that early testing and detection actually helps, rather than just not going undetected and thinking that you are always safe.